Thanks for joining me here on the 9 Home Worlds YouTube channel. I'll be placing a wooden handle on this ferro rod, also known as fire steel. This will be part 1 in a 5-part series. This is Canadian sugar maple. It's very tough and it's completely dried out. It was donated to me from a local farm about a year ago. I sealed up the end with acrylic paint, but it didn't do much to stop the drying. I will now draw some guiding lines using black pen. This will help me to keep things straight and on track. First I will draw a cross on the top and the bottom, and then lines down the sides. And now, just to mark the thickness of the ferro rod itself, so I know where to drill. These lines here will mark the final thickness that I want for the very top of the handle. And I'll give it a grip here to see how long I want the handle to be, and then mark the area that I want to cut off. Time for some axe work. This is my GB Swedish carving axe, and it's nice and heavy, which will help me a lot to remove a lot of this dense, dry material. I want the handle to taper down, wider at the bottom, more narrow at the top, so I'll chop towards the front of the handle, starting at this line here. I'll remove enough material to bring it as close to those lines on the front as possible. I don't want to go over those lines at the front because that would probably ruin my project and I'd have to start over, so I'll just go little by little. And here you'll see I just redrew the lines. And now to begin drilling the hole with the assistance of my extremely useful bench clamp. Since I work out of my basement office, this thing comes in very handy. Giving it a little tap here to make sure it's held nice and firm. So I've selected the largest bit that I have in this kit, and the thickness seems to match up very well. This rod was removed from a different handle, so for the depth, I'll just match up to where it was before. So with such a thick drill bit, it's easy to slip out of your intended area. So I'm going to pre-drill a little hole with this pair of scissors. And now for the drill. So yes, that is smoke. It's actually burning it and not really drilling that well. I would say that's more a testament to the drill quality rather than the denseness of the wood itself. So that took a lot more effort than it perhaps should have. And this was the cheapest set that I could find, and that's probably why. As with all handle making, it's always good to do a dry test fit. So now I just want to take a look and see how straight I drilled that hole. It is slightly off, but I need to widen the hole anyway for the sake of the epoxy later on. This also just goes to show why it's always a good idea to leave a bit of extra bulk to play around with. So I've straightened it out sufficiently enough that I can move on to the next step. This is it for part 1. My next video will show shaping with knife work and establishing some bold facets. So remember to subscribe and keep a lookout for part 2.